Wow, after completing 30 days, I feel like I am operating on a whole new level of existence. This new level of operating feels like I am completely in my body. I feel my body so deeply. I feel my body speaking to me. I feel so much in every single moment, and at the same time, all with such deep interest, curiosity, love, equanimity, peace, and it just feels really good to be alive. You know, the past 13 days were not what I thought they would be. They were a lot harder than I anticipated. I went into it thinking, I'm a Jedi, I've got this. Like, I've done a number of courses and I know how to sit and I've totally got this. And when Jorge threw in the extra hours of meditation for the last portion, I actually found it to be really difficult to sit for that many more hours each day. And I definitely had a lot of resistance, and I had to sit with that. And with sitting so much more, I was also able to become so much more still, and with that much more discipline, also reach greater depths that I'm so grateful for. What I found so surprising was that I feel like I have been sitting so much of this past year, doing so many courses and having a practice outside of Quepasana. I found it so surprising how much of my ego is like grasping for so many desires, and I feel like I've been looking at it for so long and just like realizing how big it is. And sitting on the mat can be so difficult because you are just being shown your patterns so clearly, and sometimes it feels like you don't have an escape route. You know that you're supposed to come back to center point and come back to equanimity and body scans, and you know the answers, but how to actually get there can be one of the most difficult things you ever experience. And you just want to escape, and you just want to like go eat food and go dance around and talk to your friends and jump the gate out of here, and you want to escape out of those patterns. But truly knowing that the real escape is by just sitting there and looking at it with such deep awareness is how you actually heal it, is what kept me going for sure, and what keeps me going on this path. My actual challenges, one of my deepest challenges was my spiritual ego. Was this always desiring more, like wanting to find more peace and more healing and more, that there were a lot of times that I was coming to the moment with an agenda of like, I'm doing this to heal, instead of just coming to the mat to actually just be. So there's this difference of coming to sit, of like, hey, I'm gonna sit here and I'm gonna heal, that's coming with an agenda, versus coming to be like, I'm just gonna sit here and watch myself and see what happens. And that's healing within itself. So it's this tricky dance of mindfulness, of like really looking at like where you're coming from. And yeah, just really dealing with that. There's things in my body that I was trying to heal over the past 30 days, and I noticed that I kept on wanting to be like, yes, like I'm gonna heal this over 30 days, and by the end of this, I'm gonna be healed. Like thinking that there was like this end game to the meditations, and really having to like look at myself for that and step out of myself and realize that I wasn't actually being truly present some of the sits. And then what I found also challenging was the number of desires I had. I was like, there were so many sits where I was sitting and I had these desires to go out into the world and like just party and be, and I like just wanted to just like explode with energy, and I felt that it was really difficult to hold it in sometimes and really sit with all that energy and livelihood I felt building inside me. Especially with this practice, you're building so much chi and so much energy, and just like having to contain it was kind of difficult. The community is really what kept me going. The community is what really kept me wanting to show up for each sit, knowing that this is such a precious offering and a gift to sit and be and look at yourself. And I just knew deep in my being that I had to. I knew I had to show up. I knew I had to listen to myself, and because it's always going to be there. All of those parts of yourself are wanting to be heard and felt, and you can go your entire life just filling yourself with distractions and not really looking at these parts of yourself that really need attention and care and listening, and just knowing that I just feel like I have to do it. Like it's the only way out is in. You know what was really easy was showing up and eating delicious food. That was easy. Like when the bell rang and you would just like had a sit that you were like, wow, like I just kind of need some kind of like something to grasp onto, because after being in a whole whirlwind of just like thoughts, going and just receiving such deep, healing, nourishing food prepared by people who are so charged up with love, that was really easy. And to sit there and like look out at the most beautiful ocean with the most perfect temperature, eating good food, surrounded by such a community of conscious people, that was easy. Those moments are so precious to me, and yeah. Some of my happiest moments I find during these courses are the first bell in the morning, the 4:30 bell. I know that sounds so strange, but I am so happy as I am stepping on the grass out to the shala, and the stars are so bright above my head, and I can just see all these people, all these souls gathering to sit on their mat at 4:35 in the morning with such dedication, and just like that feeling of this soul tribe, this star tribe coming together, and just feeling like the stars are witnessing this evolution and that I get to be a part of it every day. That is like my happy moment, and it's just so profound. I'm so just like blown away by it every time. And there's so many happy moments, like it's endless. I think that one of my happiest moments this course though, like where I just felt my heart burst into joy, was during artistic expression. Jorge had hooked this plant, like this tea tree plant, up to this electrical impulse thing where this machine was able to read the electrical impulses of this plant and play a corresponding note to the plant. So as you got close to the plant, it would play a certain note because it would feel your vibration. So I was sitting on the front and I just see Jorge touch the plant and it made this noise and he just lit up with just like such joy and laughter. Like it was just so hilarious. And during that course, during that sit, we were able to sit and meditate with this plant, and it would just make all these different sounds. It was just what felt like such a glimpse of what Quepasana is, you know? One of the biggest things that I healed was during the artistic expression. Just diving into really feeling like I'm an artist, and I've always had such a huge block throughout my whole life of like feeling like I couldn't paint like on a large scale because I didn't feel good enough, because both my parents being artists and painting on such a large scale and feeling like I didn't have the talent to do that. And during this course, I just knew I had to do it, and it was one of my greatest joys. And actually some of my happiest moments too would be like taking the morning break and having my canvas set up and just feeling so peaceful and so graceful and so just like, yes, I'm here in my space and I'm like confronting this really old ego fear of mine that just doesn't serve me, and during the process like really finding so much healing in just painting for the sake of painting and not feeling like I had to be good enough or deserving or whatever, just like showing up and doing it and making it my meditation and finding so much joy in it. Like that was really, really healing. And yeah, and then wow, like there's so many layers on which you heal. Like physically, I just feel so much stronger because I have such a deep reverence and connection to my body now. And this connection that I've had with my body was something that was really like lost and altered over the past years of my life, during like my teenage years, and as I was becoming a woman, like stepping into more of a womanly body and a figure of like getting hips and thighs and just like blossoming into that womanhood. I was doing a lot of modeling at the time, and the modeling industry just like wasn't receptive of it. As I was blossoming into womanhood and doing a lot of modeling at the time, I would have agents tell me that I was too thick, or I wasn't like tall enough, or I wasn't this way or that way, and it really like put so much pressure on how I thought I should be, and just like really denying like what my body was transforming into, and just like being so like self-conscious about like gaining weight and having hips and not being a size 0, where I was so naturally like skinny, and it wasn't something that I had to like work for. It's just how I was in my teenage years. And then to come into this place where I was like, should I be starving myself? Like, should I be working out more? Like, am I not good enough? Like, and to have someone so bluntly tell you to your face, like, you're too thick for the job. They thought you were gonna be skinnier. Having somebody tell you that that you don't fit the box that you're supposed to fit in making like a young woman, transforming into a woman, not feel good about her body. Like at the time it hurt, but I didn't realize how deeply it wounded my psyche and the way that I responded to and felt about my body. So it's been something I've been healing over the past few years. Like, I'm sure there's just so much deep healing there for me. And I would have to say, in the past 30 days, it's some of the first times that I've actually looked at myself in the mirror and have been completely like, you are so beautiful, and like exactly how you are, without anybody like telling you like what you should or shouldn't be. Like, I just feel such a deep respect for what my body does and this vessel that it is, and how it's already awakened. Like, every single one of my cells is already so alive and listening and responding to all of my mind's impulses. So yeah, is some of the deepest healing that I've received over the past 30 days. The number of realizations you receive at Quepasana are endless. Like, you're just like bombarded every single day with realizations, and I feel like after being in here so long, they do feel so integrated within my new state of being that it's kind of hard to pinpoint. One of the biggest things that I was waking up to during this course was unity consciousness, and I'm still waking up to that so much more. And there were so many parts of my ego that died, where basically ideas of who I thought I should be based on my ideas of my ego's interpretation of this world, and then realizing that we are truly all one. We are all one collective consciousness, one community. We all are coming from this earth. We are literally earth, like our bodies are from this earth. And realizing that I am here in service as much as I can be, and that when you serve the collective, you are serving yourself because you are the collective. And I continued to gain deeper insights to this whole unity conscious thing that I've heard about but have never felt on such a deep level. And that was probably one of my biggest realizations, and just realizing the desire to serve and the desire to help, and that's never been that strong in me before, and now it feels really strong and potent. My number one takeaway from this experience is that it's all good. It's all fine. It's all okay. It's all perfect, exactly as it is. Whether you choose to wake up or not, like in whatever weird form, it's so perfect. And whether you choose to sleep in the morning or get up at 4:30, whether you choose like to live in one place your whole life or you choose to travel, like, it's seriously so perfect. And to be able to dance with that and not feel selfish or guilty about any decisions you make, because it just is perfect. Like, everything, every single little thing. And being able to operate from that space of perfection instead of operating from a space of, I should do this because of this, but truly operating from a space of like, I should do this because it feels good to me, to myself, not any stories of what anybody else has or any story my ego presents. Truly doing it from a soul level, everything is so perfect. The essence of Quepasana is a feeling. And the essence of anything is so hard to describe because it's an essence. And I think that's what we were really feeling in the past 30 days, is tapping into our own true essence of like who we really are. And that space really has no words. But if I had to say what Quepasana is that it's a deeply transformative meditation course offered in the most healing way possible. And at that, I would even say Quepasana is one of the most healing courses offered through meditation. And I say that because there are so many offerings in this world of healing through medicine ceremony, through group circles and talks. But with meditation, it is purely you, and you're tapping into who you truly are through pure self-reflection. You are your own medicine. And Quepasana is just holding up the mirror to letting you know that you are your own healer. Quepasana is magical. Quepasana is healing. Quepasana is transformative. Quepasana has changed my life and so many other lives and will change so many lives. I absolutely feel like a changed person after these 30 days in the way that my ego has subsided so much, and it allows me to tap into my true essence of who I really am. And during these 30 days, as you're sitting so still and your mind is able to become so sensitive and your body is becoming so sensitive because you're depriving it of so much. Like your eyelids are shut for 5 to 8 hours a day, and it's allowing your brain to like process and reconfigure itself. So when you go to eat a meal or just even walk on the earth, you feel it so much more deeply. And it just brings so much awareness to how much there is to feel out there and how sensitive you can become. And that sensitivity is also so deeply healing. And you're able to see things so much more truly. You're able to really hear. You're really able to really taste and smell and feel. And then being able to even step outside of yourself and feel not only your emotion so deeply, but feel other emotions so deeply. And even like tapping into what it would feel like to be a bee, or what it would feel like to be the cloud, where you're able to just step out of yourself and into this greater consciousness and feel that. You feel like you're just this vibrating being. You don't feel like this dense human body that's like trudging through life. You feel like sensations are just passing through you. And yes, like food tastes so much better. Water is amazing. Like the sunshine on your skin is so nourishing. The sight of just two people hugging is like nourishing of itself. Just like visually, everything just, it becomes so powerful after sitting with your eyes closed for so long. If someone was thinking of doing a course, I would say do it. Like, there's nothing better that you could do for those 10 days or 30 days. There's nothing that can enhance your life more than sitting with yourself and being so deeply nurtured and cared for. Quepasana is amazing. I just love it. It's just so amazing. It's so good. Like, it really is what is healing this planet, and it's giving so many people this opportunity and this container to just sit and be and look at themselves, and that is what we need. Like, the earth doesn't need healing, it's humanity that needs healing. And how do we heal ourselves? It's from the inside out, and this is the chance to do it in the most nurturing, loving way possible. So thank you, Quepasana. Thank you, Jorge. Thank you, Marianne. Thank you for spreading this message. And I'm just so grateful to be a part of this. Jorge knows that there are no words and that I would just want to look deeply into his eyes and just feel him and just spread, just like share all this gratitude I feel so deep within me to him. But if I had to say something, I would say, Jorge, thank you. I love you so deeply. You are such an inspiration to me and to so many others. And you deeply inspire me. And you are my hero, for sure. You're my hero and one of my dearest friends. And I'm so grateful to know you. And I thank you for extending so much generosity to myself and to so many others. And that generosity in itself is what is so healing. And thank you.